to get a haircut, right? And I've been thinking, I'm trying to do car rants now, right? Because I've been thinking, like, there are people that ask, if you could learn a language immediately, or any language that you want to learn immediately, what language would it be? And I always am like, no, I wouldn't want that. And it's really, like, my language learning thing that I do, my hobby, my interest, is very weird to me. I feel like, because, like, so basically my current language that I'm trying to focus on is Portuguese, right? And I'm getting frustrated because I'm listening to interviews from Neymar, you know what I'm saying, from any Brazilian human. I just immediately can't understand them. And it's like, my Portuguese is decent for what it is, for what it's been, right? Because I've been learning Portuguese on and off for the past 6 to maybe 10 years. Well, how old am I? No, well, I would say 8 years, right? Solidly 8 years since I was in like high school, right? But it's like, I am getting frustrated with the fact that, like, my Portuguese is so, like, bad compared to, like, in my head, I know I should be mad at myself for not knowing, because I just now started getting to the point where I'm actively learning Portuguese, not just like sitting down every couple of years and being like, okay, I can understand this because I know Spanish a little bit, right? So I can understand what this person's writing down. Auditorially, I can't do shit in Portuguese, right? Speaking Portuguese is another thing, right? I'm getting to the point where I'm like better at speaking it, because I never actually like taken the time to like learn how to speak Portuguese. To read Portuguese, okay. To understand what's being said, barely, right? But then back to my original topic of like which language did I learn immediately? None of them. Actually, no. There's a handful. And it's all languages that I would never learn, that I'll never sit down and learn. Like if I could immediately learn Polish, sure. I'm never gonna sit down and learn Polish, right? If I could like speed run Korean, if I could speed run like any language that I just don't want to take the time to appreciate, and no offense to like the native speakers of that language, I'm just saying I'm never gonna sit down and learn Swahili completely. I'm never gonna sit down and learn Xhosa. I don't know how to say that shit, but the click language in South Africa, right? There are so many languages that I would love to learn, just out of curiosity and appreciation for knowledge. But I'm not gonna sit down and learn them. Like, Aramaic. I'm not gonna sit down and learn Aramaic because also there's no resources in that shit, right? There's so many languages like Baramba. You know what I'm saying? There's so many languages I would learn immediately if I could, but there's languages that I actually like. There's a good amount of them, right? But my part about language learning is that there's something that I enjoy doing a lot when it comes to the actual learning process. You know what I'm saying? Like for Portuguese, Arabic, so many languages that I've gotten into, where I'm like, bro, I don't want to give up the whole journey. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about like the conflict of what I want to learn, I want to learn this language. I want to be able to speak the language. I want to be able to understand the language, right? But it's like in my head, I really like the feeling of my neurons going off, being like, wow, I connected these dots. When I see cognates, or when I know something that I didn't think I knew, and I said it and I look it up to make sure I said it right, the way the dopamine that I get from saying that, it's great. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not driving, I'm traveling. But yeah, like the feeling I get, like anyone gets when they're like, because it's a feeling of accomplishment, right? When you learn something, you're like, wow, I did this. That's why people hate AI. I don't really care that much about AI hate. Like, I really couldn't care less. If it goes away, then okay. If it stays, then you know what I'm saying? Whatever, the world's already bad enough anyway. But anyways, like for me, the languages that I focus on, because I want to learn them, I'm learning them because I want to learn them, right? Not because I want to just be able to know them. Like the reason people that are multilingual from childhood don't appreciate. Okay, I'm not gonna generalize that much, but like some people that are bilingual or multilingual from like childhood don't appreciate language as like in the way that people that learn them actively and appreciatively do, is because the process of them learning it is different because they already know it. Like I've been speaking Spanish most of my life, right? So I was raised in a semi-Spanish speaking household because my grandma's house, her son, well, my uncle and his girlfriend lived over there, and they spoke Spanish 24/7. He's black, but she's Mexican, straight from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? She didn't speak English that well, so they spoke Spanish all the time together, 24/7. So I'm hearing it as a little kid. So as a little kid, your brain's picking shit up, right? But as an adult, that has not necessarily newfound, because I've been learning languages for like actively and intentionally since I was in middle school, right? So about 12 years old. But as a person that's intentionally learning languages that are not his native family language, like the appreciation that I have for actually learning them is different. The reason, bro, it's actually ironic because when I was a little kid, I did not want to learn Spanish intentionally. I literally said I don't want to learn Spanish because like it's so easy. Not easy because it's definitely not easy anymore. But it's like I was like, bro, Spanish is so familiar. It's so easy. Like it's everywhere. Right? I don't want to learn something that's basic, right? But as someone that's now learning languages for fun, as a hobby, as an interest, as a pastime, the appreciation I have for actually sitting down to learn a language is way too much that I wouldn't want to give up that process for a language that I actually love, right? For Polish, I'm not learning Polish anytime soon. But if I was doing that with Polish, or doing that with like any kind of language that I'm just not focusing on, I would do that. But for language that I love, I'm not skipping that process of learning the people that you're gonna come across. Like all the stuff that you get when you're learning a language, I'm not gonna get that if I just skip the whole learning process. But yeah, so like, and this all comes down to efficiency. People say that they don't want to, that they don't. Oh, okay, this is getting philosophical, right? But the key to life is efficiency. Or let me rephrase that. The key to quality of life is efficiency. Everything that improves your life is efficiency based. You know what I'm saying? And everything that we've ever invented as humans is because of efficiency. You know what I'm saying? People do things because it'll give them efficiency in this way in life. It'll do this and that, right? Like nobody does anything that isn't going to bring them efficiency. There's people that do things that are not inefficient intentionally, are doing it as like an actual like intentional lack of efficiency. Like, bro, people going to the gym is like an example of that, right? You lift weights, your muscles are working. They're working hard. That is not like, come on.